guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new GTA update. Now, I wanted to record this video yesterday because, well, it came out that day, but instead of doing that, I was, preoccupied with playing with my friends. So, let's get into it. So, the first thing I really want to cover on my list will have to be the Submarine. So, let's call that in, right? Let's do that right now. I own it. I don't own everything about it, but I do own the important things that I think are important. Now, I'm only going to be going over I'm only going to be going over the things that I own. Now, I'm going to give, opinions on some things. It's like, every opinion that I make is like, what's the word? I forgot it. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's basically subjective. That's the word. Subjective. Everything is subjective in this video. You could take it as you will, but I personally want to explain to you. So let's get a car. You'll see it on the map over there that this thing is there. I'm pretty sure I called my sub in. Don't tell me the game broke. Yeah, the game broke for a second.
2,000 years later.
Alright, should be available now. I had to wait a little bit. So, let's take a look. Just gotta wait for that to come in. Hopefully, it won't spawn. This game blow on. Alright, oh, never mind. Okay, it works. It works. My game was just bugging. Alright, so what you could do, if you you don't have a boat or anything to get to it.
Thanks, Mac.
Now, I'm gonna get back to that later. Okay, so we're gonna get back to that later. So let's just take a look at the boat and, I'll show you around. And I went the wrong way. Okay.
A few inches later.
I don't know why it's not closer to the thing, but, So, as it's been said, you can request a dinghy from it, and it'll spawn nearby to your location. You can drive the dinghy to the sub, like I'm doing right now. Now that helicopter, you see it on the map. I'm gonna get back to that later. But I wanted to really talk about the sub since it's actually one of the most important thing in this new update, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, let's drive over there real quick, and we'll show you around. Also, you'll notice that my window's open, and the reason why it's open is because pigeons like to chill on my window. You probably haven't noticed it sometimes, but they'll be there. And the reason why I have it open is for my boy over here. Let me show you guys. See? Yeah. So, so we're here, and I go inside. Now, it's like an MOC. Now, in this, it's like, I thought about it before it actually came out. I was like, yo, it's gonna be like an MOC or an adventure where you can actually drive it manually. And to my surprise, yeah, it is.
How is the weather up there, Capitan?
No, this guy, he blows mine. But, let's sit down. As you can see on the top left, there's a fast travel option and there's a drive option. Now, fast travel, you can pick anywhere you want, and you can fast travel there in less in a minute. So that's what I did. I TP'd to Vespucci, and that's how I'm here. Now, before I show you how to drive it, let me go over the rest of the mechanics. Now, this board right here that I'm pointing at with my character, that's the heist board. You're gonna need to be, as it says on the top left, VIP CEO or MC president to activate that. Now, I'm not going to go over that in this video. I'm going to go over that in another one. I have gotten almost everything done. I'm just missing about 4 points of interest, 1 entry point, and 1 infiltration point. That's all I'm missing. The missiles, now I think of these missiles as orbital strikes, basically. I think of them as orbital strikes, but for free once you buy them. Like, you can literally, what I've done is I've gotten into sessions sometimes, and I've just sat down, popped the missile, and then it flew over, killed someone, and you can guide it. You can literally, fly it over there. So, I get up once I'm done with that missile, Go over to the other seat, do the same thing, rinse and repeat. It's toxic. But the problem is that when you're underwater, you can't access it. Now, there's a little special, there's like a little thing that I've noticed with the periscope. I'll show you after this. And you can see that he's poking out in the frame. Look at him. But other than that, let me go over here. I'm gonna show you the vehicle bays, the moon pools. Now a helicopter can go here, but there's also a staircase, but ladder. I take the staircase most of the time. But there's like a submarine, like a mini one that you can now, you know, use. So before I get into all that, I'm gonna tell you, you know, oops, wrong way. I'm just gonna do it right here. Pull up your phone. Alright, so you're gonna wanna go to Warstock, cash and carry. You wanna go here. And it's gonna be like literally the first thing at the top. So you're gonna click that. Now I already have the sonar station. The sonar station is for finding other submarines and like other stuff underwater. Like for instance, you get the sonar. It's gonna go for the sub that you have, like the big one. And it's gonna go for the tiny one that I have too. Now you could use the tiny submarine to basically drive underwater, and look for like caches of money. Now there's caches of money spread out throughout the map, and I've already gotten like 2 or 3 of them. Once, if you have the sonar station and the submarine, you can find them no problem. But you know, it's just the distance. You can TP there anyway. It doesn't matter. You can get it done in like less than like an hour. So with that out of the way, I've actually used a sonar to fight other people with submarines. I would like dive, and then you know just launch torpedoes and kill them. It's pretty easy. But guided missiles, that's what I was referring to. You see that little big bump behind the conning tower? Yeah, that's where the missiles come out of. And I actually use that as like a makeshift landing site for like if I'm using a helicopter or something, like a personal vehicle, and I just call it away like the oppressor, because if I go inside, it's gonna disappear. It's gonna like, oh, you gotta call Moore's Mutual again, you know, all that. So if you're like an MC, return the vehicle to storage when you land it on top of that hump, because if you go inside, God knows what happens to your vehicles, like, you know. But you could get the weapon workshop. It's basically like the same thing, but I'm not gonna get it because I have the Avenger and the MOC. It's not really a big point in it. Now the moon pool vehicles, I already have the Kraken. That's what it's called, the Kraken, which is a mini submarine that I use to get the money caches. Now the Sparrow is the helicopter. The Sparrow you can like take off with, but you have to pay for the missiles. I heard it's like 500K. I don't know for myself, but I know my friend told me about it. He said it was like 500K for the missiles or something like that. I don't know, but I know it's expensive. But I wouldn't really waste my time on that, because with the Kraken you can actually like use it to get free, you know, money that's like laying around on the ocean floor. Now you can change the color to it to anything you want. I have it at black and white. I might change it to, I don't know, say for instance, nah, I'm just gonna change it. I'm not gonna change it. It's no big deal. But you get what I'm trying to say. Now let's go over to the Winky. Now I'm not gonna buy this thing because I've driven it before, like in the heist, and it's kind of sucks. I understand it's stock, but it's a 3-person seater. It's a 3-seater, as you can see right here, and it's not really that worth it in my opinion. Like, it's not armored. You kind of screwed. You know, I wouldn't really buy it, but like if you want to have like a collection of vehicles just sitting, it's okay. You can buy it. Now for the attack boat, I thought it was gonna be like a personal vehicle, but I was wrong. It's apparently a Pegasus vehicle. I was thinking about buying it, but I was like, nah, it's not really a big point in it. Now, this thing, I heard it's like it takes off pretty fast. I've used it before in like a prep. It takes off pretty fast, but it's huge. But the upside about it is that, you know, you can go to like high altitudes with it, and like you'll basically be off the radar. But in my opinion, it's not really that big of a deal or whatever. Like, because if they look up, and depending on what, like if it's day, noon, or nighttime, doesn't matter. They're gonna still see you. You're literally flying a huge bomber. It doesn't matter. Now this thing, I own it, and it's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I hope they're gonna do what they did with the Savage. Because back in the day, Savage was a 1-shot missile. Now it's it's a 2-shot. You shoot one at it, boom. You know, it doesn't just a 2 or 3-shot. I don't remember. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but this is basically the Annihilator, but it goes like into stealth mode. So it's like the Akula, but it holds more people. You're allowed to rappel, and you can like put rockets on it and stuff. I bought it because I think it looks cool and stuff like that. But you know, other people find it useless, which is okay. Cause you know, for that kind of pricing, I don't know. But I'm not gonna sell it because there's no point. Also, I enjoy flying it. It's actually an extremely quiet helicopter, and you'll see what I mean when we get to it. But this car, now it may look like a regular car, but the reason it's priced so much is because it's basically a Stromberg. Now the Stromberg is a submarine car. You basically like you drive to the water, you hold right on the D-pad or whatever, and basically it turns into a submarine. And that's the same thing with this car. This thing's old, but other than that, that's basically everything new that came out. But the drip feed, they're gonna come out with some new stuff in the drip feed. But let's go drive it. Let's go. Let's get over to the driver's seat a little bit. Give me a second.
Say hello to the sunshine for
Before I drive it, actually, I want to show you guys what the missiles look like. So let me just open the seat. Like I said, you cannot be like underwater when you shoot these missiles. So now you can steer it. You can steer it with both the left stick or the right stick. It doesn't matter. But you know, I choose the right stick to move it. So as you can see, it's completely guided, and it can reach the opposite side of the map. So like say you're at the airport in LS, fly the missile to the other side of the map. But the problem is that's width wise, right? You fly it from one side to the other across its width, not across its length. Because when you try to take it across its length, it'll just say lose connection, then like the missile will blow up. So let me see if I have enough time to do that. Let me see if I can fly over there and I'll show you what happens. It'll just say losing connection, then it'll just blow up mid-air. And it's actually pretty like overpowered in my opinion. I like it. It's toxic. I just hope they don't nerf it. Well, see, look, see, it says losing connection. I'm gonna let it keep going so I can see what happens. This is gonna blow up, nothing too special. That happens. So it takes about like almost it takes like 55 seconds to reload it, and in that time, if you're fighting someone, you like could switch to the other seat in time and then go, you know, ruin their day a little bit more. So let's get into the driver's seat, right? Now the fast travel, you already know what it is. It's basically, I'll show you it after though. So like, let me get moving. You can actually manually drive this thing. Now there's like the periscope option. I'm gonna press it right now. Now I'm gonna like it's not only used for like above water use. It's obviously a periscope. You need it to see above the water. So you can manually drive it. Now one thing I've learned is that when you're using you're flying a plane, like the L1 R1 sticks buttons, or LT and RT sticks for Xbox, or I don't know. I'm wild, but I don't remember the sticks for the Xbox. Okay, so yeah. Come at me in the comments, I'm sorry. But you can, it turns tighter actually when you do this. Now to dive, you gotta press the X button, A for Xbox. Now to get back up to the surface, square for PlayStation, X for Xbox, right? But be careful because that thing likes to like fly in the air for a second. So now, this is a pretty cool thing. You dive a little bit. Watch. I'm gonna dive until you see the little periscope sticking out. You like, hold on. See? It's like stuck in that position now. Now you press right on the D-pad, and you can look over the waves. Now that's pretty cool. But the problem is when there's a huge wave and it gets over the periscope, it takes you out the periscope view, and you have to go back into it again. But if you hold L2. You can lock onto things and shoot them. Now I have not tried this with flying vehicles, but you know. Now you can see that like the submarine at like periscope depth, it leaves a trail, so you know where it is. Now in order to remove that trail, you gotta dive completely. That means the periscope's submerged, everything's submerged. So that means you go underwater, right? And basically, this is where the sonar comes in handy, especially when you're like fighting other people in submarines. So you do that. Now I'm gonna surface real quick so I can show you how the other boat works. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna show you how it works. Now I might force that headgear to your face, I don't know.
Bye.
But go over here, you go to where your sub is parked, and literally all you do is just hold R2 when you get inside. I'm gonna do it right now so I can just show you guys. Because the biggest thing about this heist has to be the submarine, because literally that's where you're gonna start the heist and stuff. You get like an animation with it, all that. I'll fast travel like in a minute, so like you have sonar in this thing too if you buy the sonar, so you can basically go look around and stuff and all that, especially for the boxes. So I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna go back into the into the sub, and sometimes there's like an animation, like of you going back into the sub and it coming back up on the lift. So I've noticed is that when you're surfaced, you're much faster than when you're underwater. Now that's obvious because, the deeper you go, the more water that's above you and is pushing against you. So, the slower you go. But it's whatever. I don't really mind it. But if you're like, if you're in multiplayer, I don't mind, like you could keep it like above the water, like just chilling. But if you like are getting attacked, immediately dive, because if like you're at a certain depth, the missiles can't hit you and you're basically home free. Now, somebody like was trying to like blow me up with their Strombergs, or not the Strombergs, the new Stromberg Mark II. That's what I'm gonna call it. So what I did was I just dove, like literally, I just dove like what I'm doing right now. I instantly dove. And he couldn't touch me. I went to like 100 feet, like 100 something feet, and he couldn't touch me. So I like pulled around. Like this thing takes like wide turns, so I pulled around, and the circle button, like circle or B for Xbox, is to shoot the torpedoes. So that's that. Now let me just surface real quick because I know you're tired of seeing me. So you surface, and basically you shoot torpedoes. You can see, you can hear it. See, you can see it right there. Obviously, they're just regular RPGs. They're not really torpedoes, but they're modeled differently. But it's whatever. Now you can lock onto them, obviously. So if you're getting attacked, just dive. You'll usually get away. It's whatever. But now I'm gonna show you guys the helicopter that I own. I already gave my private opinions on the rest of the stuff, so I'm going to try to keep this brief because I don't want the video to be too long. And, yeah. So, let me just get to it. Ooh, also, one other thing about the... I'm just going to shoot a torpedo because I feel like it. Damn it. Okay, I missed. Oh, never mind. Ha! Got him. Anyway, so... one cool thing, alright, so I'm gonna intentionally beach this thing. I'm gonna beach it. I'm gonna go straight towards the land, like over here. I'm gonna beach it. Right? Now, usually it would say it's beached. Yeah, see, it says it on top left. It's beach, return it to open water via the interaction menu. Now I'm going to show you how that works actually. So, stand up, out of the driver's seat if you beach it, and you're going to get outside of it.
Goodbye.
Or you could stay inside, either way it doesn't really matter, but I like to get out. It's a pain. So, you get out, and actually this is extremely helpful for me because, I'm already where I need to be. So, fix my photo like this. So, you go to the interaction menu, you go to services, you go to, I'm not gonna even try attempting that. You go to return options, and you go to return, either you return it to open water, or you could return to storage. Now, if you leave your like moon pool vehicle outside of the submarine, you could return it. And it's like, if it's like, say the submarine's underwater, and you like keep it there with the autopilot. Now, if you're underwater, hold, or over water, hold right on the D-pad, and it will like, it'll like stay in autopilot, and it will just sit there, right? It won't move. Now you can surface it if you really want to, but I'm gonna put it in storage because I'm not gonna have any use for it anymore right now. I might call it in later to show you like what's extremely useful about it, you know, all that. So I'm just gonna let that be. See, it despawns. It takes a while to despawn, don't get me wrong. Now, the helicopter, I'm just gonna get to it, I'm gonna show you how it works. Alright, now we're in the helicopter. Now I wish I had some friends with me to like show you like, you know, how it works, but later I'll do like an explosion test to show you. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing looks sleek, but I don't like how it looks like when you're tailing in third person. Now, one cool thing, so it has about 2 weapons. You can either add homing or, you know, barrage missiles, but we all know where you're gonna pick. Come on, we all know where you're gonna pick. Now, obviously, you're gonna need a hangar for this vehicle. I have a hangar in the military base, you know, so it doesn't, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But one cool thing I wanted to show you is that, like the regular Annihilator, this thing can actually float on water. Now watch. So, yeah, for some mysterious reason, my other recording stopped. But basically, I'm gonna do it again real quick. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna just let it do its thing. See? You can even see my thumb. Not touching it. I'm waiting for my controller down. Now, this is okay. I don't know if we can pick people up while they're doing this, but yeah. So, I'm gonna fly to the military base, and I'm gonna show you some customization options. And yeah, after this, we'll basically just wrap up the video. So let's do this. Yeah, we're here. So, before we go inside, I wanted to show you something. So you can see the other flaps, you can see the miniguns on the side, right? You can basically see it. You press right on the D-pad, you go into stealth mode, and you're basically off the radar. It's like a, you know, unlimited off the radar use. But the problem is that you cannot use your weapons while you're in stealth mode. That's what it's called. So, let's go inside, and I'm going to show you some customization options. And now we're going to end off the video. Done doing that. Okay, so I don't have to really leave the aircraft. You can see my hunters up there and the savages back there and all that, yeah. But
Let's get it started.
armor's at 100.
What we doing
Engine
today?
at 100. You can see the handling's also 100. Now, I didn't put a livery. That's because I already like the black, like the jet black camo on it. I may or may not put a camo on it. Who knows? But I may put this only because, you know, winter's coming. Well, it's already winter. It's actually snowing outside right now. It's a blizzard that's supposed to hit us. And I'm excited. Even though it's COVID, I may go out. Who knows?
Still thinking.
Do a snowball fight or something. I don't know. I'm gonna enjoy myself, but I want to do something. I've been inside for like months. But I'm gonna put this, and you could like respray it. You could respray it. Basically, re-put it to whatever you want. I'm gonna keep it this color because it's actually not that bad. Now, the secondary colors. The only thing you really like, you know, just, you know, is basically just
Doesn't add to the
missiles and
aerodynamics, but it looks
the
good.
gear and all that. Secondary weapons is the missiles. That's the barrage missiles. These are the homing missiles that I own. Now you don't have to put weapons on this. It could just be strictly a transport, but you would want to have some sort of defense. but you can't put flares or any of that on this. So let's exit the hangar, and I just want to show you, because I wasn't capping earlier, that it actually does take one missile. Just to show you. So I'm gonna land. I'm gonna just back up, and I'm not gonna use an RPG. I'm just gonna use a homing launcher. Like, say you're on the ground, you're trying to shoot this thing out the sky. You're obviously gonna use a homing launcher. Gone instantly. Now I think the reason it's like this is because, you know, it's the Annihilator stealth version. The Annihilator is a one-shot, but I don't really think that's fair. You can see that this thing is more armored than the actual Annihilator itself. So I think that they should kind of change that. You know, I think they should change that, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna do another video, hopefully on like the heist and what to get for it. I'm not gonna go too into depth, like going into the island and all of that. I may or may not, but it's like if I have the time to do it, because I have been, you know, busy recently. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you can get like 10 likes, that'd be really great. But yeah, have a good one. Peace.